All right, let's talk about something that's becoming a huge deal in South Africa, and that's water insecurity. As municipal services start to struggle, a lot of people are taking matters into their own hands, just trying to keep the taps flowing. Today, we're going to break down one of the most popular solutions people are turning to, the home water backup system. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. What if you never had to worry about that again? For so many people, water outages are this constant, stressful part of life. This question, it just cuts right to the chase. It's about the problem and the promise of a real solution. So, to really get why so many people are looking into these systems, we've got to zoom in on the situation on the ground. And a place like Gauteng is, well, a perfect example. The province has been hit really, really hard by water shortages. So, what's actually causing all these constant cutoffs? Well, the source material we're looking at points to what you could call a perfect storm of issues. You've got ancient infrastructure that's just falling apart. Pipes are bursting all the time, and municipal services, they're just not reliable. On top of all that, the source points to a lack of skilled technicians, which just makes everything worse. And this right here, this is where it really hits home. This isn't just some small inconvenience we're talking about. It's a massive disruption to daily life. When people are going for days, literally days without water, something as basic as a running tap suddenly becomes a constant source of anxiety. So, in the face of all this uncertainty, a whole new market has popped up. Instead of just waiting around for the city to fix things, people are deciding to invest in their own personal water supply. Let's take a look at what that actually involves. At its heart, a water backup system is a pretty simple and clever idea. It's basically an integrated system that connects right into your municipal water line. It fills up a big storage tank, and then it just sits there, ready to take over and supply your whole house the second the public supply goes down. And here's the real payoff. It's the peace of mind. These systems are designed to give a typical household enough water to last anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks. That is a huge weight off your shoulders when you just don't know when the water is going to come back on. Okay, so it sounds great in theory, but how does it all actually work? How does that water get from the city pipes into your tank and then out your shower head without you having to flip a single switch? Let's dive into the process. The whole thing is designed to be totally seamless. First, a plumber hooks the system directly into your home's main water supply. So as long as the city water is on, your tank stays full. Now the really clever part is step 2. The system constantly circulates that water in the tank to keep it fresh. Then, the moment an outage happens, the system's pump automatically kicks on and your house just starts using the water from the tank. You don't have to do a thing. And that little feature, the continuous circulation, that's a huge selling point. The whole idea is to stop water from just sitting there getting stagnant and gross. And according to the source, that's why, for a basic setup, you don't even necessarily need to install filters. Okay, so we get the process. But what are you actually buying? What's in the box? Let's break down the actual hardware, the components that make up one of these standard backup systems. Your standard package, the starter kit, if you will, comes with 4 main things. You get the big storage tank, of course. You get a pressure pump. It's about 0.37 kilowatts, and that's what makes sure the water pressure in your house feels normal. Then you get all the little bits and pieces, the valves, the fittings, and about 10 meters of piping to hook it all together. But what if your water quality isn't so great to begin with? Well, you can add some extras. The source material points out 2 main options. You've got water filters, which take out impurities and contaminants, and you've got water softeners, which reduce that mineral content that makes water hard. Both of these are a really good idea if you're on borehole water or if your municipal water is just known to be pretty harsh. And that, of course, brings us to the big question on everyone's mind. What's this all gonna cost? What's the price tag on this kind of water security? Let's get into the numbers. Okay, so here's a look at the starting prices for the base kits. The cost really depends on the tank size and shape. You can get into the game for about 10,500 Rand for a 950-liter tank combo. From there, it goes up to around 13,900 for either a taller, skinny 2,200-liter tank or a standard 2,500-liter one. But that's just your starting point. You can customize from there, and the most common upgrade is the pump. If you need a bit more pressure for a bigger house, you can bump up to a 0.55 kilowatt pump for an extra 750 Rand. Need even more power? The 0.75 kilowatt version will add 1,000 Rand. And if you're worried about the noise, you can get a special quiet jet pump, but that's a more significant jump of 2,500 Rand. Then you've got the premium upgrades. A VSD pump, that stands for variable speed drive, is way more energy efficient, but it's a big investment at an extra 6,000 Rand. Or if you're really tight on space, there's this super slim tank that's basically flat. It's a great option, but that convenience will cost you an extra 7,000 Rand. So when you add it all up, the picture becomes pretty clear, right? This isn't just about buying some equipment. It's a real to find investment in your family's water security. The costs are significant, yeah, but they're also transparent. You can calculate the exact price of that peace of mind we were talking about earlier. So what's the bottom line? What's the final value proposition here? Well, it's pretty straightforward. Number one, you get a continuous water supply. You completely remove your reliance on a failing system during those outages. Number two, you're buying that 1 to 2 weeks of absolute peace of mind. And finally, you're getting a tangible, real-world solution for a problem that seems to be getting bigger every year. And all of this, it kind of leads to a much bigger, more profound question. As more and more of us invest in our own private infrastructure, whether it's solar panels for electricity or water tanks for water, are we witnessing a fundamental shift? Is this the new reality for how we deal with failing public utilities? That's a huge question and definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me.